Dashing through the snow, finished my gig early this day. Or the Binny store, checking out the shelves. Gifts from gals who sing, let me spirits buy. Now I have a cutting board and the brand new Dewars 12. Hey, how you doing out there, folks? Welcome to another Drink and a Wink, very special one today. All kinds of stuff to talk to you about. If you've been paying attention here in recent times, you will know that I've been hunting, looking for the new iteration of Dewars 12. We've talked about Dewars quite a bit. Looks like I got some frame rate low issues here. Let me just take care of that. You know, it can't be a drink and a wink if you don't have some frame rate issues with your camera. All right, here you go. Don't even know what that is. Anyway, Dewars 12. So we've been talking about Dewars, and last couple of posts I've brought it up. And for all of you that need to know, I have found the new iteration of the Dewars 12. However, we have some other things to talk about. First, you heard my wonderful little poem there. Sorry about the false rhymes, rhyming shelves with 12. Could have said shelve. Anyway, check this out. Last night I'm on my gig, and my wonderful friend Jeannie, who I was been playing with all the time, she presented me with a wonderful Christmas gift. Check this out. Cutting board with my logo for my Drink and a Wink, burned in, etched in, expertly done by her and Susan's niece Sarah. I'm not going to use last names, but if you are interested in something like this, I know I can put you in touch. This really warmed my heart. It's just wonderful. And right when we get done with this video, I'm going to put this to its first its trial run. It's maiden voyage. I'm not going to play maiden voyage, but I'm going to put it to its maiden voyage. I'm going to make a Rob Roy on this thing. I won't really have to cut, but I'll do it anyway. Or maybe I'll just preserve it. It is really nice. Check it. Let's get a close up in there. Yep, look up in the corner, folks. That is my logo on my own cutting board. If that kind of stuff interests you, like I said, get in touch with me. Maybe I can hook you up with Sarah, and you can make use of her services and create some nice functional artwork. This really was stunning to me. So, along with that, Jeannie and Susan also gifted me a little bit of a go. I was gonna hold off on buying bottles, but I got to go to the store today. Went to Binny's, did my checking, and lo and behold, the new Dewars 12 first fill bourbon cask is there finally. Check that out. All right, it's the new box. There you go. So let me tell you a little bit about this, okay? As I've mentioned many times before, Dewars is probably my favorite big name brand blended scotch. I have many other favorites in the smaller brand and some of the malted blended scotches, meaning that it's just malted, or what I like to call vatted, because they used to call it. But for my money, and I don't have much of it these days, Dewars is my favorite, kind of a big company blended scotch. They're owned by Bacardi, so I always feel like you get what your money's worth with them. However, as you may or may not know, Dewars has been on the move a little bit, and after some time of being very much the second to Johnny Walker, they've been doing all kinds of different things. I've talked about this at length, mostly spearheaded by their master blender, Stephanie McLeod. So recently, they tried to revamp a few things, and their mainstay has always been the white label Dewars. Okay, no H statement on that. Very good, great with the cube, great on gigs. It's one of my favorite drinks to have on gigs. And then they stepped up to a 12-year-old that used to be called the Ancestor for a while. Okay, 12-year-old was double aged. Okay, meaning that they were what were they blending this in with two different kinds of aging, but that's where it ended. Dewars 12, maybe $5 to $7 more than regular Dewars. Okay, then up a little higher in the price tag, I can't see it. I meant to pull it out. It's kind of buried back there right now. Is the 15, which is used to be called, maybe it's still called the Monarch. That's a more extensive blends, kind of an older, stately, lots of dark wood, older wood notes on that. It's great. Anyway, I've loved them all. I've talked about the Smooth series, but I kind of, after really enjoying my first bottle of Dewars 12, way back in the way back, the second one I got started to get a little oaky to me, a little old oak, and kind of one note and a little bit pale and maybe just a little bit grainy for me. Okay, so good thing Stephanie McLeod came along and upped the game over there. So what they did is they're taking Dewars 12 now, okay, and what they're doing is they're finishing it in what's called a first fill bourbon cask, and we're going to get to that because this is going to be info as much as a review. So what's happening now is Dewars 12 is a blend of grains and then malted scotch, malted barley scotch, okay, and those are aged separately, and then they're married, okay, meaning they're put together into a different cask, and there you go. What they're doing differently now is that marrying the last maybe 3 or 4 months of after the 12 years of the various whiskeys are brought together as the blend, then they are putting it in first fill bourbon casks. What does that mean? Well, let's talk a little bit about casks so you can know. We obviously are talking all about wood today, so let's get into it, all right? So when we talk about casks and finish, aging, and all that, we have to know a little bit about what the terminology is. It's very simple, but sometimes it can get a little confusing. All right, so where it normally starts is a cask. This is a block of wood, not a piece of a cask, but we're going to use this for an example. When you have a cask and it's brand new, has never held anything, it's called virgin oak, okay? It can be toasted. This is not toasted, meaning it's just lightly warmed on the inside and kind of, well, toasted. You know what toasted means. Or it can be charred, such as this, where we actually are burning it and it lights on fire, okay? Scotch, people don't like to age in that, but the casks are usually toasted in the beginning. Bourbon, they'll do any number of things with those casks, okay? However, here's the nice thing about, for Scotch fans, is when you do that in bourbon, you make a brand new cask and you age bourbon in a brand new virgin oak cask. It is done for the use of the American company can use that no longer and still call it bourbon, okay? You can only use new cask to age bourbon here in the United States. So what do? They take that cask and the brand new cask and they age some bourbon in it, okay? So we'll do that. There you go. Okay, we are aging our bourbon. There you go. Smells great, okay? I've just made this bourbon a whole lot better. No, it's not at all true. So now this is no longer a virgin oak cask. This is a bourbon kind of influence because it's been holding bourbon, okay? So now what happens is they will take that cask and they will send it to Scotland, okay? Cask comes to Scotland, and now they open it up and they look inside and they say, "Oh, look, that's a beautiful cask." They might clean it a little bit, but it's been, impregnated, so to speak, the inside of the cask with bourbon. Now they're going to take some fancy whiskey and they're going to pour it into that cask, and this is secondary aging. Okay, if you do that very first time, right after they receive it from America, or if they're using sherry casks, if it's been, just emptied, that could be any state from dried out and clean to basically just dumped out, and there might still be a few drops in there, okay? That's how that works. They put it in. That is what they are doing with the new Dewars 12. The old one would be, they would do that probably with a more expensive or one of their higher lined whiskeys, and then they would dump that after the aging, take the cask, bring it back, put more in, and that's what you call a refill cask. So that's what's a little bit confusing. We have virgin oak, which means nothing has ever been stored in there, okay? They will do that for Scotch as well, okay? Maybe they could use American oak. It's never aged bourbon. They can use Spanish oak, European oak, all kinds of different things. But that's what it is. So that's what they're doing. That's the difference here. So that means, yes, it's a little more expensive. So this is going to give this a different kind of feel. Also with the fresh bourbon casks, first fill, never ventured, that bourbon scent is going to have an influence on the whiskey. All right, so that's what we all need to know about casks. I've got charred oak all over my table. That's okay. We'll live. All right. Now, as I told you, I have a long time affinity with Dewars and Dewars 12. I am now on the old one. This is my third bottle, I think, if not more. Okay, and luckily we're going to do a taste test here between the two. The old one is not that old. I think I bought this maybe at the most 2 or 3 months ago. Okay, and here's the new one. First of all, let's look at the difference on the labels here. Okay, not much, but if you're going out looking for this one, you need to see the new one. You need to see double aged in first fill bourbon casks. This one reached double aged for extra smoothness. This is the one you want. Matter of fact, at the Binnies today, both of them were stocked up. This is the first time I've been to a lot of Binnies just to go in. I'll go in, not buy anything most of the time, just to see if the new ones are out on the shelf. They finally are putting it out there. Obviously, they're trying to get rid of this, and they are both on the shelf. Like actually today, the old one was on the bottom, and this was actually stacked up on top. So be aware. Also nice is they have not jacked up the price. In Illinois, the retail, and I think that retail everywhere is under $30 here in the States. It usually street price is kind of $25.99, and it was on sale today for $20.99. So that was great. All right, we're going to get into tasting. We're going to do a couple things here to make it even more fun. Actually, let me see if I can just put this just a little lower. There we go. All right, I have both the old and new one. They are exactly the same in terms of how much I've poured and the glasses. The only thing is I have put a little yellow highlighter on the base of the under one. Now, you've seen enough videos of me by now to know that my eyes aren't that great, but I'm going to take my glasses off, okay? And I'm going to actually twist this thing around, move the things around, do some shuffling, and I'm going to blind taste it. Well, without my glasses taste it, and we'll see if I can tell the difference. But first, I need a palate cleanse. Now, when I palate cleanse, some more secrets. Water is great. Some lemon, infused water can really do it. Milk can do it. And all of a sudden, I have found now, very oddly, that instead of trying to cleanse it and make my mouth neutral, I just have to get anything else that I've eaten out of my face, so to speak. What I am using is, don't be grossed out by this, a combination of almond milk. Is that what I'm using? Yeah, almond milk and regular milk. And this is, so cow milk, almond milk. That's my palate cleanser. Now, while I'm enjoying my palate cleanser, I'm going to move this around, twist it this way, move the glasses around. I really, without my glasses on, I can't see. I can barely see if anybody's making any comments. I can barely see that we're getting the low key frame rate too low. All right, I move this around. We spin this around this way. There you go. All right, I'll guarantee that I can tell which one is which. And really, this yellow line on this glass is just so small. That's it. So, try the first one. Try a little taste. Try the other one. Definite difference. I'm going to say this is the new one. Let's see. I can't even tell. This has a yellow line. I picked it. This is the new one. I'm going to take the old one, side to side. That's what I'm going to make my Rob Roy with right after I get done with this video. All right. I already picked it. Now, what are the differences that I'm getting? Okay. I'm going to nose this one again now properly. I'm not lying. If you look really closely, you can see that little yellow line on the bottom of there versus this one. I don't know if you can turn it. Anyway, I picked it. I wouldn't lie to you. Why do I want to lie to you? Okay. So on this nose, right away, this bourbon, this first fill bourbon cask um, has cleaned up of the a little bit of the grainy nose that you get with regular Dewars 12, and definitely just standard Dewars. Uh, Lots of, well, a hint of fruit, a little bit of lemon, caramel is there, vanilla, vanilla, lots of vanilla. But what I like about this is, again, since this is a newer, is influenced by this newer, fresher cask, first fill, I'm not getting the kind of older wood and just kind of driftwood and sour wood notes that this one had, which I didn't necessarily not like, but this is masking it nicely. Color-wise, when I hold it up, this one is a little darker. Now, on a small batch company, smaller company, I would say that if I saw a difference, we'd expect that. It could be you could have, or it wouldn't stand out so much to me. Let me put it that way. But with this, knowing that Dewars is blending tons of stuff together, so it's consistent, this has to have been influenced with this cask, so that's a little darker. Also has a little bit, it might be just me, but it just seems a little heavier, a little bitter. Let's go for the taste. Definitely a richer mouthfeel. One more. Vanilla, still there. Just a little bit of faint hint of smoke. Oh boy. That's hard to say that I like one more than the other. But as I swallowed the other one, let me cleanse it one more time. I'm going to go the other way now. This is the old. Yep, there's that bitey, that grainy bite on the end. That this one just does not have. I would not say that this is going to be punching at a single malt weight. Okay, it is a blended Scotch. However, this one could fool you into thinking that it is a vatted malt or a malt blend is what it's called. Okay, what am I talking about? Blended Scotch. You could have all different types of grains in there mixed with malted Scotch. Okay, they blend it together. Boom, boom, boom. You have all different kinds of grains. It could be maize, corn, wheat, whatever. Right? We went through that ad infinitum. Rye. Okay. Single malt Scotch means it's from one distillery, right? And it's only malted barley. A vatted blend or a malted blend is no other grain, but you're combining various single malt Scotches. This one, which is not that, could definitely fool you into that. I would say that the only thing that maybe this first fill bourbon cask is taking away from me that I liked in Dewars is that this one I still get. It's always been reported that Dewars has a little bit. One of the single malts that's blended in there is Kalila, okay, which means it would be peated. On the old one, I kind of get that. On the new one, not so much. But what I'm getting is just a more refined, mellow but tasty and vibrant dram here. Okay. The other thing that I like about this is it was kind of, I don't know that if I took regular Dewars and Dewars 12, I might be, here's what's cool. Dewars, regular Dewars white label, just so you know. And you can also enjoy seeing my wonderful wool sweater, which I pulled out just for now. I do have my track pants on. But anyway, good old Dewars 12, all right? Nice and warm. Michelle's on a gig. I got back from my gig early today, semi-early. And there you go. This is Dewars 12. I don't know that on a taste test, I could totally get a lot of differences, meaning Dewars, the old Dewars 12 tasted like Dewars, just older. Okay, still had that kind of bite, the graininess. And then the 15, the Monarch, which I know a few of my friends really like a lot, and I do too, had an older, stately leather, a little more smoke on it. Okay, it was hard to differentiate Dewars 12 and just regular Dewars white label. This one is solidly different. Okay. And some of you people that like, I was going to nose bourbon just to, yeah, it just has this nice little addition. I'm going to pour myself just one more little blast of this and give me my wrap up. What else was going on here? Really pulling into the final stretch here. I know you're all waiting with bated breath on my whiskey experience of the year. Last year I kind of punted and went for a couple of different things, a couple of different choices. I think this year I'm going to try to be creative, and I'm not going to pick one. I am going to pick what is exclusively my whiskey experience of the year from a, wow, this is fantastically different and really out there, and you should check it out if you can find it. And I'm going to find you one. I'm going to also pick one that was very surprising to me that you can find at just about any liquor store, anywhere you go. And just to make it cool, since I know some people are American whiskey fans and some are Scotch fans, it's going to be one of each. That's what I think I'm going. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a Scotch whiskey fan, or you want to get a gift for someone who you know likes Scotch, and you don't want to miss, okay? This might not be a mind blower. This is definitely not going to miss, all right? If you come for the king, best not miss. Maybe Dewars is coming for the king, Johnny Walker. They did not miss with this. Ooh, that was a tough analogy to The Wire. The Wire. I feel like some MSNBC commentator. Anyway, bringing up The Wire. I mean, I love The Wire, but I mean, come on. Drinking a wink. Dewars 12 here, the new version, double aged. All right, in the first fill. There it is, double aged in first fill bourbon casks. If you're going to see it at $25.99 here in the States, go for it. Grab it. You're going to enjoy it. Take it out. It's good enough to sip. I actually, unlike white label and maybe even like 12, I think it's going to be your neat blended malt dram. I wouldn't clutter it up with anything else. It's that smooth. I hate to use that word, but it really is. And this first fill bourbon cask. I'm going to sing you that poem one more time. I actually wrote it down, that poem. Dashing through the snow, finished my gig early this day. O'er the Binny's store, checking out the shelves. Gifts from gals who sing. That would be Jeannie Tanner. I know Susan sings once in a while too. Let me spirits by. It was kind of Yoda talk, but I went with it. Kind of old world kind of speech. Now I have a cutting board. And the brand new Dewars 12. Merry Christmas, anybody? Anyway, everyone. Merry Christmas, one and all. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter, and a happy new year to you, George Bailey, in jail. Hey, oh wait, hold on. I just forgot. Anyone in town in Midwest, I'm actually going to be down there a lot for the Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic. I'm going to be there helping out at the North Park University, who I'm a proud faculty member of, helping out in the booth. Okay, I don't think I haven't overdone it here, so I think they happy to mention. Anyway, I'll be down there. So if you're, I hope John Richardson and I'm going to see Johnny Lane this week. But if any of you else are out there, I'll be around quite a bit. Come check it out. I'll try that ending one more time. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter.
And a Happy New Year to you, George Bailey, in jail.
You know what? I didn't get that